Hey class. So today I'm posting a video that will stand in for the midterm review. Normally, if I'm teaching on campus, not in an online class, I would hold a review setting. But for this time, I will not be going on campus as it's an online class. So let's go ahead and get started with some basics of the midterm exam. So the midterm exam will be done on your own, so there is no collaboration at all allowed on any of the midterm exam or the final exam for that matter. So please, obviously, do not collaborate. If I think that there's been any collaboration or any sort of plagiarism, then I will have to amend the grades, and there'll be zeros awarded for any violation of this policy. So please just do your own work. It should be all be good. The last time I taught this course, I taught it in a regular classroom setting, so the brick and mortar, and the exam is quite similar to the one I used originally. And it was able to be completed by most of the students within an hour and 20 minutes. So I think that 24 hours should be ample time for you guys to complete both of these exams. So the way you'll access the midterm exam will be through the Canvas course. So let me open up the course right now. So you'll go onto the Canvas course. You'll click on Assignments, and you'll see all the groups of assignments with the black bolded labels at the top. So for example, discussion board participation, homeworks, quizzes, and then you'll get to a group assignment name called exams, and you'll see the midterm exam listed below. Now, the midterm exam isn't going to be available until 12 a.m. on June 24th, so that's midnight the night before, well, technically the same day, and you'll have to turn the midterm exam in by 11:59 p.m. on June 24th. Again, you'll just be uploading PDFs of the exam, and you'll put it right in just like you upload your homework assignments. Okay. So to begin going over the review and what I'll actually be asking you for the midterm. So the first thing I'll be looking at are just what I call core concepts in linguistics. So these are really basic, important, fundamental issues that all linguists should know. So the first thing I'll be asking you about would be descriptive versus prescriptive rule. So you're going to need to be able to tell me the difference between what a descriptive rule is and what a prescriptive rule is. The second one is, what is a grammar? So what I mean by this is, basically, tell me what a grammar is. What does a linguist consider a grammar to be? Obviously, we know now that linguists consider grammars to be the rules that speakers have internalized that allows them to speak the language that they do. The next thing I'll ask you about will be Hockett's design features. And I could ask you any types of questions regarding Hockett's design features. If you need a brush up on what Hockett's design features are, I have a file on the Canvas course that includes what these things are. And remember that essentially the Hockett's design features are what are used to distinguish human language from animal communication. Then the last one is incredibly broad, and it just asks, what do linguists study? So this would be things like phonology, phonetics, syntax, semantics, morphology, basically the types of things that linguists are interested in, and it's quite open-ended. You'll also be tested on morphology. So the two aspects of morphology that I'm going to be most concerned with will be how you guys can draw trees of words. So what you'll be doing is you'll be taking words, decomposing them into their component parts. So their roots, then any affixes, then you'll be telling me whether or not the affixes are inflectional or derivational, whether or not their bases are roots, bound or free, and then of course you'll tell me the part of speech once you create a little local subtree dividing a word up. And then also in morphology, I'll be interested in how you guys can solve morphology problems. So these will be the cross-linguistic morphology problems that I've uploaded a video about before. So again, you'll be seeing languages that you're unfamiliar with probably, written in the IPA, and you'll be finding the patterns and the systematicity of them. And that will be a large component of the morphology portion of the exam. Next will be phonetics. So with phonetics, the two things I'm mainly concerned about are transcribing sounds. So that would be given some word or given some sentence or something like this. Could you transcribe it into the IPA? And then you'll also have questions that relate to the IPA in general. So this would be saying, for example, if I were to tell you, show me the symbol that stands for the voiceless velar fricative, then you would be showing me the symbol, the X, the one that is the voiceless velar fricative. Or alternatively, we could do it in the opposite way. So if I were to ask you to give me, say, the voiced velar stop, you should then show me the symbol G, the one that stands for the G sound, the voiced velar stop. Okay. So that's basically it for phonetics. Phonology, you'll need to be able to distinguish and tell me what the difference is between a phoneme and an allophone. you'll need to be able to break words into their syllables while also transcribing them, and then solving phonology problems, which again, I've posted a video to the Canvas course helping to solve phonology problems. So it'd be important, yeah, that you can distinguish phonemes from allophones, and a lot of these will be done um, in the ways that you guys already know. So for phonemes, you'll be able to show me minimal pairs, and for allophones, you'll be able to show me that the distribution of the sounds is predictable based on the environments of the surrounding sounds. With the syllables and the transcription, again, it's very much like phonetics, so you'll be transcribing words, and I will only ask you to provide the syllable structure, so not the foot structure. So I know in homework 5, there were a few questions about metrical structure, so like how many feet does this word have? If it has 2 syllables, is it a 1-footed word or a 2-footed word? I'm not going to worry at all about that for the midterm. So you just need to worry about putting in the syllable structure, which is, I think, a much more manageable task for an exam. Okay, so let me actually open up the exam itself, and I'll begin going over to see if there are any other bits that I think might be useful for you guys. Otherwise, please just send me messages on Canvas or post on the discussion board. I'm going to create a discussion board thread where you can ask questions specifically about the midterm exam that either you guys can answer for yourselves or that I can answer if I when I get on there. And obviously, I'll be checking to make sure the answers that are being said are good ones. So I'll be moderating it to make sure there's only good information on there. Okay, so let me open up the midterm. So yeah, the format of it, in the beginning part, you'll have 10 questions, or excuse me, 5 questions that are just basically the general linguistics questions, the ones I talked about at the very beginning, so things about what grammar is. And these are short answer, so again, about 2 to 4 sentences for each of these. Next, you'll have some morphology problems, and I'm going to be giving you 5 words, excuse me, that you'll be breaking into the various parts. So showing me the base, showing me all the affixes, telling me whether or not the base is, whether or not the affixes are bound or free, and then whether or not they're derivational or inflectional. And you'll have 5 of these to draw trees for. Then you will have a morphology problem. So from a language that you will probably all be unfamiliar with, and you'll be basically finding the patterns and showing me which segments of the words correspond to the various translation bits in the data set. For phonetics, you'll be transcribing some words, and then the kind of like the full part of the phonetics is there'll be some sentences for you to transcribe into the IPA and reverse. So you'll have some sentences written in the IPA that you'll need to transcribe back into normal orthography. For phonology, you'll have some questions from English regarding sounds, and you'll tell me whether or not they're phonemic or allophonic. And then, of course, you'll have some words now that you will be dividing into their syllable structure and transcribing for me. And then finally, the exam ends with 2 phonology problems from languages that you're probably unfamiliar with, and you'll be finding the phonological patterns in those 2 problems. And so that's the full exam. So it takes up 8 PDF pages, but you'll probably not need that many to actually turn in because there's a lot of spacing, and the data set tables are pretty large. So overall, yeah, the exam I think should be quite manageable. And yeah, if you have any questions, just post on the discussion board thread that I'm going to create, and best of luck. Thank you.